Who else was up?
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome everybody to the this regular meeting of the Planning Commission scheduled for Tuesday, February 13th. I'm going to open the meeting at 7:30. Can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Kucera,
Here.
Fenton, Jacobson, Jones,
Here.
McHale,
Here.
Pross, Scripture,
Here.
Shepherd,
Here.
Watson.
Here.
Agenda item number 4, approval of the regular minute meetings from January 23rd, 2018.
I'll make a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes from January 23rd, 2018.
Support?
I have a motion, I have support. Any changes, corrections, additions, deletions? Roll call, please.
Jones,
Yes.
McHale,
Yes.
Scripture,
Yes.
Shepherd,
Yes.
Watson,
Yes.
Kucera.
Yes. Okay, the minutes are approved. Item agenda number 5, request to approve the 2017 annual report. Mr. Elliott?
So on this weighty matter, we were called upon to report to City Council on our activities for the prior year, and so we've summarized those for you. Actually, your Economic Development Coordinator prepared this. High points being the various amendments that we did to the ordinance, the drafting of the master plan update, and then a number of site plan reviews. Interestingly enough, we had no special land use reviews during 2017. So if this appears to be in order, if we could get a motion to approve forwarding it to City Council, we will take care of that for you.
I'll make a motion.
Just the one item been taken care of.
It has.
It has been taken care of. I emailed it out. I just did not
It's right here.
have an opportunity to print the free colored copy.
Oh, I see.
Mr.
So,
McHale's name has been added to the list, is that?
Correct.
Mr. McHale's name has been added to the list.
And I thank you.
I'm sorry for the oversight.
Oh, not a problem.
Yeah. Any other comments on the annual report?
okay.
Motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the 2017 annual report with amendments and forward it on to council.
I support that.
Motion, support. Roll call, please.
McHale,
Yes.
Scripture,
Yes.
Shepherd,
Yes.
Watson,
Yes.
Fenton,
Yes.
and Jones,
Yes.
and Kucera.
Yes. Now there's a request to schedule a public hearing on a draft master plan update for March 13th, 2018.
So the next and final step in the approval of the master plan update is to conduct a public hearing. We can't do it at the next meeting. We need more time than that to notice that up. So we're suggesting March 13th. I put in your packet the comments that we received during the 63-day comment period. We got some from Oakland County, Road Commission, and Madison Heights all seem to be favorable. And unless there is anything else you'd like to do before we get to that point, I'd ask that you approve that as the public hearing date.
I have no problem with that.
No issues. I just had a question. Where we have the circled or encompassed areas, okay, that includes some of the residential, what we have residential areas now. Would those be affected, or is that still going to be allowed on that?
Define what you mean by the circled or encompassed.
Okay,
Oh, I
this
see.
is on the encompassed area where we're labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
This is their map. This is Oakland County's map, you mean?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
these were areas that they had particular comments related to. These are not on, they added that to our future land use
Okay,
map.
just as a general circle then.
Right, so the map underneath there is your future land use map that you worked on. And
Right.
in general, the plan covers the entirety of the city. We've just incorporated by reference and then put it on the map, those things that are downtown.
Okay, no, appreciate that.
No, I agree. I saw that, and they were a little overzealous with their circles.
I thought so.
Okay.
You want a motion that we can have a master public hearing on the 13th?
Make a motion that we have, or schedule a public hearing on the draft master plan update for March 13th, 2018.
Support?
Motion, support, roll call, please.
McHale?
Yes.
Scripture?
Yeah.
Shepherd?
Yes.
Watson?
Yes.
Fenton?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Kucera?
Yes. Well, we're moving right along here. Public discussion, items not on the agenda. Anyone from the public like to say anything? Seeing no public here, I'm going to close public. We'll move on to other business.
Does Ms. Fenton have anything to say do you have any additions to tonight's meeting, just to kind of keep us here for a little bit?
I just want to thank Ms. Steck for taking my advice into consideration and making this the shortest meeting ever. Planning Commission.
I aim to please. We are shooting for a record. So far, we are definitely on track.
Right on
We
target.
average all our meetings, all right? So let's get this.
Even if we averaged all of our meetings, we're way down. It's good. And so I have just a few things of other business, just updates really. I do not remember if I mentioned this at the last meeting, but 661 South Main it's next to Perry's Pizza. It was Dance Nation. Dance Nation went out a while back. It is now going to be Detroit Sports Collectibles. So they didn't need to go through the site plan and review process. Dance Nation hadn't been out that long. So they're open. Our friends at Clawson CrossFit,
Excuse me,
Yep.
what is Detroit Sports Collectible? Are they trading cards or?
all sorts of sports collectibles. I mean, they've got cards, they got memorabilia.
Is this the only location?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
I believe so anyways. That's my understanding. I know Jim's been able to go through and do his reviews. They had a few minor things that they needed to do inside, but that was about it. We'll be reaching out for them soon to see if they'd like to schedule a grand opening ribbon cutting.
Cool.
Our friends at Clawson CrossFit are over there at 157 159 North Rochester. They had their SIVO inspection last Tuesday. And so they just need to do a few minor things, but Jim has approved their interior work, and so they will also be opening very soon. Obviously, they still have their site work to do, but they'll be able to operate until the spring. Jim has also been working with Mr. Band on on finalizing his sign permit and getting the proper site plan or site plan compliance plans for the department. No bond has been provided to us. So the city attorney is supposed to be negotiating that with Mr. Band. I have no idea where exactly that's at.
What property is that again? I'm sorry, I don't know.
That is Clawson Corners.
Oh, okay.
And then my last update is that they are doing interior work over at Kimball Animal Hospital over at 421 West 14 Miles. So I'm expecting that they will be coming to us in the spring, hopefully with some site plan work. But for right now, they're working on the interior remodel in the space. Glenn, you look pensive.
Picture the building. I thought we had them come before a site plan some time ago.
If
Not
you,
that-
did,
just
if you
that-
did, it was a long time
Okay,
ago.
all right.
That is where Fantastic Sam's
Yep.
and Robin's Wash and Wags was. I looked into it when I started speaking to them, probably like summer last year. I couldn't find anything.
I want to say they had a site plan that had been delayed because of the recession, and then they brought it back, and then we looked at it again. I'm thinking that's that same building, but
Possibly.
anyway, just throwing it out there.
It's
So,
the plans that we had were old.
Okay.
Right. That's for sure.
yeah, and it was
so.
some time. I mean, they had to resurrect it, if I remember correctly, as far as having it brought back and then us reviewing it again. And we just, if I remember right, we just adopted what they had before. But I could be wrong. So, but anyway, I just throwing it out there.
So hopefully we'll get something there soon. Get some plans soon.
And as far as process-wise, for somebody coming into a location that already has a site plan, they are updated as far as what they have for their site plan, what their responsibilities are on maintaining that site plan, and
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So, and then last but not least, Noble Appliance will be having their ribbon cutting on March 5th, Monday, March 5th at 9 a.m. If you can somehow find it in your schedule to make it, be there. And that's
Said
all I
March
have
5th?
for you.
Said March 5th?
March 5th, yes, at 9 a.m.
Mr. Elbus isn't here. I don't know if you could answer these questions for me. There seemed to be a problem with the Church of Clawson at the last meeting. We were going to call a show cause on them. Any results on that?
I don't think we've sent them the show cause
No.
notice yet. So that would be a thing that would probably happen.
I believe we did.
March 13th
I
meeting as well.
believe in our discussions, like our team discussions, I believe we discussed the fact that we don't really have anything to show cause them for because they haven't resubmitted for, and I mean, this is now their third review that they would be on, or
Right, their
third
status is
plan.
really that they had a site plan and they did not comply with it.
Well, they're
and
actually
it
living.
expired.
They're actually living on a temporary certificate, aren't they? Are they not? They're not.
I'm not sure they have any certificate of
I
occupancy.
think they had one of those for a while, but
I
that
don't-
obviously would have expired at this point in time.
I don't know if it was a temporary, right? I think that might have been before, that was definitely before we had our TCO policy. So I'm not sure if it's a temporary, if it's a full,
That's
if it's
quite a-
anything.
I suspect
while
it's
back.
none at all. I suspect that.
I know that there's some kind of a controversy going on about that site, and Jim said he don't want to show cause them, so I don't know if just.
Well, they
follow-
just haven't taken any action to, they applied for yet another site plan review, trying to bring something in that was more realistic in terms of parking lot that they could actually do, as
Right.
opposed to what they'd originally proposed or proposed the second time around by an amendment. But, we gave them a review and they haven't done anything to comply with that or resubmit. And so something needs to be done to get them off the ball. I think the question, maybe in Jim's mind, is it appropriate to show cause them? Because show cause is about having not complied with an
With what
approved
you're
site plan,
supposed to,
right?
right,
And they don't
yeah.
have an approved site plan. It's just-
Yeah, so
they
it's-
don't have any site plan. The problem is really that they're occupying the building without having gone through site plan review and probably without a certificate of occupancy, and so maybe an enforcement action. that
Right, so
needs to-
I would encourage Jim to keep an eye on that and see how that plays out. The other item was, excuse me, Western Global. I asked about that. They have these stack containers out there. And I have an old letter here from July 31st of 2017. And they said that within the next 90 to 120 days, they were going to take care of that problem. And Jim said he was going to look at that.
I'm not entirely certain if he was able to get around to that before he went on vacation last week. So I'll touch base with him again.
Put that on his list of things to do. Okay. Anything else? Any other business?
Yes, I'd like to remind everybody that tomorrow is Valentine's Day, and we have several businesses in the area that could accommodate your last-minute shopping needs for your sweetheart. So just a reminder.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I do have a couple of questions on Osaka. Where are they? Have they
That's
fixed
a
their
good
problem?
question.
They'll be coming back in front of us in a while.
They
a ways
apparently
off.
have some pretty significant mechanical
Hibachi,
code
yeah.
issues right now with the venting of their hibachis, which are kind of making the site plan issues less immediate in terms of their relevance because they can't occupy anyway, but per my discussion with Jim earlier today. But, there are these, I believe the city attorney has collected some information on what was approved. And Jim has given him some information on what the rehab code allows and what the Michigan Barrier Free Code allows. I mean, the situation is that there were ramps that were shown on engineering drawings that were not shown on the approved site plan. They were not required on the approved site plan and may not be required by code, but were shown on the engineering drawings and would not actually lead to an accessible entry to the building. And so the question becomes what to do about that. But as I say, that's less immediate for them right now than their mechanical code issues.
We're not holding them up. It's,
No, and it's just one of those things, I think this was brought to our attention, or they came in front of us in late 2015, right? Something like that. So
Yeah, it's been a while.
Okay. And then the other item that I had brought up, or was brought up for me, was the annoyance as far as the lighting at Detroit Burger Company. The string of bright LED lights
Yes.
that is more of a marquee than it is actual light.
which are also on the back side of the building.
I didn't notice that.
They're blue. I can see.
Oh, really?
I can see them from my porch.
Very patriotic. It's for the Olympics.
Personally, I don't find a problem with that, but from your perspective, you're saying it's not part of the site plan, so.
It's not part of the site. We did not have, whatever was put there originally, right? So it was Royal Kubo. I don't think that was ever part of that. And then when they came back for administrative to move in and change signs and so forth, I don't know if there was anything that allowed them to add additional light.
Well, I think string lights are prohibited in the downtown.
Okay,
So
that's-
it's
Oh, they
just
are?
not a prohibit. Yeah, particularly since the new amendments. I'm not sure they were ever allowed, but I remember in the new amendments, some discussion of prohibiting those downtown.
Well, that's something else to put on Jim's list of things to do.
Are they still there? 'Cause
Yeah.
I
Yes.
noticed the night.
Front and back. They have red lights in the front and blue lights in the back.
Are they rope lights?
Yeah.
Because they look like they're
They're just
supposed
those-
to be there. They don't look.
Yeah,
like
I know.
they're
It looks like they
They're part of
recessed
building. They look, I like them.
I personally like them.
I don't like them at all.
If
I don't
if they
think
brought it in front of me, I would definitely say.
Yeah, no, I disagree. I think it doesn't fit with the try to fit the kind of the ambiance of downtown. And I don't know, I'm as far as maybe DDA thinks otherwise. I'd like to get their opinion, I suppose, but.
Problem with
I-
those things becomes,
Aesthetic.
how do you regulate the red ones are okay, but the white ones, I mean, they can get really, really bright.
Exactly, and there's, as far as, how bright they actually, you're right, as far as brightness, maybe if it was dimmed down a little bit, it'd be more tasteful. I don't know, I don't think it fits.
Doesn't
But I don't-
Renshaw's have a similar? Don't they have white ones?
I don't know.
Renshaw, don't they have the same thing along their roof line?
I don't know that. It's one of those things that drive downtown. It's like, here's this, blaring red, which I don't think we had a part of as far as the original approval, And as far as if it's not allowed, then it shouldn't be there. All right. So I mean,
They're on the railings, aren't they?
What's that?
They're on the railings, right?
It's the front facade that
Overhead
sticks out.
facade.
Yeah, I thought they had something on the railings.
They might have had
Could have
Christmas lighting
Christmas,
probably,
right?
but that's.
Which that's what I thought it was, right? But now that
Yeah.
it's continuing, like, it's not.
Well, I could see on the railing as a safety item, so you didn't crash into the railing there.
I suppose.
Streetlights.
If it's against our ordinance that they cannot have those, then it's up to Jim to bring that to their attention.
I'm sure we'll send an
and
enforcement
change
letter.
that.
Okay.
I get stuck on the problem is, personally, it doesn't bother me, so I think it's fine. But if the ordinance says no, then it's no. We have other problems with like signage, and signage, I think, is one of our big problems.
I agree with that too.
There's still no signs up on the little mini mall there next to ACO, because what are we agreeing upon? Are the signs aesthetically pleasing to the architecture of the building?
Are those
Well,
signs, you guys
they're
approved
allowed
those?
to put them up now. I mean, they got approval.
I hate to see this
We're not
board
holding
in
them up.
that position of making that decision as to, 9 of us deciding what signs are good and what signs are bad. I mean, that's,
Well, you're only asking them as the people preparing the site plan to decide, right? To decide on something consistent that fits with the design that they've chosen. You're not dictating to them what they should be, but you are then, as part of that process, setting the rules for what they will be based upon their own proposal, right? Is the way it's supposed to work. And, the same thing will happen now with, having a conversation with the architect working on the Laundry Palace site plan. Went through all the open items there, and that's one of them as
Yeah,
well.
I
And I said, it's not, you just have to choose, right? You're the architect, you choose what your design concept for signs on that building is. Show us where they're gonna be, and that's all. And then the building department issues permits that are consistent with that.
so we limit the size of the sign, and now we're starting to get into the design of the sign.
Well, that was part of the new downtown
Yeah,
code, right? So then the new city center district, and it would apply to the CMD district if we ever zoning land to that, required that as part of the form-based zoning that was implemented downtown. And so, and that's quite typical for those sorts of form-based districts, that you get into the entirety of the design of the building, right? That's what you're concerned about, is the building look the way you want downtown buildings to look, and you then are much more flexible about what it can be used for.
well, you mentioned Laundry Palace, and it's a perfect example. The Laundry Palace, there's a Laundry Palace that is a corner building. It faces Main Street and also faces a side street. And apparently our ordinances say that we want to see something on that side street. And
Well,
apparently
we
the
wanna
building
see-
people don't want to do that.
Yeah, we want to see, again, and this is kind of the problem with form-based zoning, where you're imposing it upon an area that already has all the buildings already built for the most part, right? Really it contemplates, as you will recall, there's all these examples of what the various building typologies that are appropriate for downtown are supposed to look like. And, not one single building downtown looks like that.
No.
There are none of those buildings.
Yeah, we're not talking new
and
construction,
so
yeah.
when existing buildings come in, and you have to apply those rules to them, and you got to try to be somewhat flexible in light of the fact that they're not building a new building. If they were building a new building on that corner, then you'd want a corner feature.
They would be required to do that.
Yeah, on that building, but they're not building a new building. They are putting a new facade on the building, so it would be within the realm of reason to do something to accentuate the corner. But they're not really wrapping the facade. It never did wrap, so.
So it's more of a
Is it
request.
okay?
than a-
Well, I think we went past that last time, and you decided that, it wasn't necessary because that wasn't within the scope of things that they were addressing, right? I think if the prior facade had wrapped the corner, then they should have done something prominent at the corner.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Anything else? Trees?
Not this meeting,
No trees, okay.
not this meeting.
I just want to advise you guys after the workshop, in the next fiscal year budget, we will be including enough money to cover to have city emails for planning and zoning.
Nice.
Wonderful idea.
So that will be in the next fiscal year, so July 1st. You guys will all have your own city emails.
Take all the
If it is
legal,
approved by council.
take all the legal responsibility away, right?
Yes, just wanted to get you that, 'cause that was discussed at the workshop, so.
Thank you.
Oh,
And then all your emails will be FOIA-able.
yeah.
Yes, yes.
On any device, yes. I did have one other thing. I know it's not in our jurisdiction, but I was informed as far as Kenwood is planning on putting a new monument sign. It will have LED electronic display. My concern to them has been taken note. They will turn that sign off at night, so that'll only be in during the day.
Who's that?
So, Kenwood Elementary.
Oh, school.
So, You want to?
Love those
Energy
LED signs.
So, anyway, I wanted to make sure that they understood that, you've got to be a good neighbor, because you don't want to have somebody come in front of us that we can say, can't do anything about it. So, anyway,
It's 5 to 8. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn the regularly planned scheduled meeting of January 23rd. Thank you.
2018.
2018.
Support, well, go ahead.
Motion
take it.
support, okay.
Support.
Everybody just want to say aye?
Sounds good.
Meeting closed.